Wow, how special was that, huh? Oh man. Oh man, so special. So special. We've got a new face on the pod. We've got new name tags. We've got a new intro. Wow, this is incredible. I'm super excited. Uh, Thank you guys for tuning in. We are Rumble Pop Live. I appreciate you. We had a few growing pains. It's 5 years of growing pains, but we're going to continue to have those growing pains as we grow our pod, our live show. So thank you for sticking with us and for being on. Really quickly, I want to say thank you to our sponsors before we get started. Of course, Splattered Frog Brewing Company. Go to splatterfrog.com, enter the coupon code SHORTBOX, save 20% off your order. Or, and maybe, you can go to Half's Hot Sauce, HAFFS, hotsauce.com. Type in coupon code Donald Hiccups for 10% off your order of all of these amazing hot sauces. We have a hot tropic to tropical hot sauce, pineapple, it's a wonderful pineapple hot sauce, killer pickle. It is great. Love it.
My favorite.
It's so good.
Like
Try them
a
out.
spicy relish almost.
Yes. Like a chow chow is what they would call it, like in the Midwest. I don't know if they did that in Michigan, but in Ohio, they would call it like a chow chow. It was like more sweet though. But this is like a nice heat, nice and spicy. It's delicious. Try it out, guys. Get in there, get on it. And I'm going to do some stuff in the background, nothing kinky, while Kevin does a little introduction here. So, Kevin, take it away.
A lot kinky.
Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone in the 24 time zones on planet Earth. Welcome to the most despairing, sometimes disgusting, but always delicious podcast and live stream on YouTube.
How is it
we
delicious?
are Rumble Pop.
We're talking
Now, I'm going to introduce to you my co-hosts and co-conspirators. First, we start with the man, the wild man from Ohio. He is Bruce Campbell's #2 fan. He is DC Comics for life. And if you have a problem with it, he just might pop you in the mouth or might even put you in a vicious chokehold. Because this man loves DC.
I'm a master of submissions. It's true.
Master of submissions. He is also a man who was the 2000 Kent State University's Mr. Beefcake. And he was announced the November 2022 top 5 best-looking men of North Hollywood, California. Ladies and gentlemen, this man makes the ladies feel good. He makes them faint in his presence. He is always socially lubricated. He is the original Dog!
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you.
Next, we're going to go to that central time zone, that beautiful Lone Star state of Texas. We're going to hear from a manly man, a man who's originally from the great state of Michigan, a man who's one of the most learned men in the United States of America today. He lays his happy hands of education upon the young people to make sure they learn the thespian
Stop saying
technique.
that! I don't lay my hands on them.
I said metaphorically. You metaphorically lay your hands, not physically.
I
Metaphorically.
lay my
You
words
your
on
hands.
them, not hands. No hands. I swear, people, there are no hands being laid.
Fine. He lays his words of wisdom upon young people to make sure that they get a job on Hollywood or Broadway or the independent circuit. Please give it up for a lovable and huggable man. He is Professor Chris D. Turner.
Cops will be here in about 20 minutes.
Don't worry, sir. I will provide a good defense for you. You're okay. And last, but certainly not least, we're going to go to the third time zone of our live stream. We're going to the East Coast. We're going to one of the greatest cities on earth, New York. A man originally from Saginaw, Michigan. A man who now resides in that beautiful borough of Queens in New York. He is also a man who's a thespian, a man who's a master teacher of junior high school students. He's also going to make sure that they obtain success in the entertainment world, whether it be Broadway, Hollywood, YouTube, or TikTok. He is also a culinary artist, a man who can cook like no other in that kitchen. He is also an avid video gamer, a man who could progress through Borderlands 3 and make you cry. Ladies and gentlemen, give a warm welcome his first time on Rumble Pop. Give it up to Mr. Seth Diggs.
Yeah, that was
Wow.
popalicious.
Never had that, but sure, we'll take it. We'll take
I
it.
am your humble podcaster, the Grand Master of the Jedi and Vulcan Arts, your Supreme Chancellor, Brother Kevin. Tonight
Gee,
is
guys.
a very odd podcast.
Yeah, very.
A topic that I did not know was coming, and I'm still trying to, I'm still sweating through it. Brother, Professor Turner, please testify to the audience on what you want to discuss this evening.
Oh, we're talking about shit. We're gonna be shit talking all night long.
So what you're saying is we're gonna have poo-poo talk, is what you're saying.
Yes, we are.
Toilet talk. Yeah, definitely toilet
my,
talk.
my.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about the best fart and poop jokes in movies.
Wow.
true.
Scenes. Yes.
It's true. It's,
this could
it's
be
gonna
a
be a
lot-
day.
So it's gonna be a lot of defecating commentary, is what you're saying.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Lots
sure.
lots of faces, lots of pooping faces, and lots of sounds. Lots of pooping sounds.
Hang on, guys. Hang on.
Oh,
Hang on.
There's one right there.
Oh,
Mm.
yummy.
Tastes like home.
You might want to get that checked out.
That's so
Yes,
chewy.
indeed.
Why is it so chewy?
Oh,
I don't remember having corn.
I'm
It's
not even
chocolate.
okay.
It's chocolate, guys. Relax. It's chocolate. We're okay. So we're going to talk some shit. This is going to be fun. Kevin,
Yes.
about what age were you potty trained?
Probably about 2 years old, I would suppose.
2?
Yeah, like 3 years old.
That seems a little early for you.
Why would you say that?
I'd say like 6, maybe 8.
No. I
All right,
remember.
so it's 12.
Wow.
It was last year.
He's on the toilet right now.
Brother Big Sal. Good to see you, sir. He actually said you're the number 2 lubricated man in America.
Well, that's fine. I'll take it. Whatever works. Speaking of that, geez, golly, perhaps I should do a little pulling out. That's right. I just pulled out on you, and you didn't even notice. Oh,
That's not good, Donald.
I know.
You get that checked out.
God damn. Let's talk about comics, guys. This is one of my favorite little segments that we do, where I talk about books that I recently read. Coming up, hot and fresh, this little piggy. That's right. They made this. Oh, it's dumb. I'm just gonna say it's another Scout Comics winner. These guys they've now dipped to 20% success, 80% failure when it comes to their comics. Once it hits 15%, I'm going to tell them to get up. I'm going to send them a letter and be like, give up. But until then, we're going to keep trying, Scout. We're going to keep trying because I believe in you. I do. I really do. I think you've had enough hits. You just need somebody to get in there, like myself, and say, hey, let's tweak this just a little bit. Like some of this stuff, maybe not so much. This one's, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's basically where a father and son are trained to hunt people. And they just pick particular families. And the son happened to really like this girl. But the dad was like, no, their family's perfect. We must hunt. Comics, I don't think they wanted me to talk about them. So we're gonna do it anyway and see what happens.
They canceled us because we talked about poop already.
Yeah, we got shut down because we're talking shit. That's why we got shut down. But we're here, and we're here for it, guys. The next one I was talking about when I was talking about comic books was Space Truckers, or Space Truckin', I guess. Space Truckin'. Yes, it's a thing. This is a $5.99 comic book, which is rather normal now. Almost $6 for a comic book, guys, which I think is absolutely bonkers. I don't think it should be that way. But Opus, they always overcharge for their books. They charge too much. It happens to be a pretty good story. This girl is on the run because she steals shit. That's what she does. And she gets caught. Who does she get caught by? Well, the evil clone of John Wilkes Booth, of course. And she gets put into his prison system. And he says, hey, I'll tell you what, I'll let you go if you steal something for me. And she's like, consider it done. And he's like, okay, cool. I'm going to hook you up with some people in this room and you can pick your team. And she's like, great. He said team, by the way. She picks one person and just makes sure everybody else dies. I don't know the thought process behind that. I would have picked at least one or two other people that were like, she picked the only other human, in other words, which I think is kind of speciesist. I don't like it. You know, why couldn't you pick the tiger or the shark looking dude or whatever the hell, you know, the lizard guy? That would be cool. I'd be behind that. But no, you only choose the one other dude, the only other human, and then you go on the run. And that's exactly what happened in Space Truckin'. It's all right. I give it a 6 out of 10. Nothing phenomenal, but don't hate it. If you have extra money, sure, pick it up. If you don't, leave it behind. Next, we have Vectors. Now, this is actually a Scout comic that's a hit. This is one of the 20%. This is really good. But it's kind of been done before. Okay, so picture this. A unidentified flying object lands in Nevada, right? And they're like, oh, what is it? And they get there, and it's a space pod. And they're like, oh my God, aliens? No. It's from 1972 when they did a unknown launch of astronauts to try to get them to Mars. And they now landed back on Earth, but they look exactly the same. We've all seen and heard this story, right? I mean, it's quite common. But I'm willing to go with it just because it wasn't this one. You know what I mean? Like, after you read this, you're kind of like, oh, you know? So I think that's Scout's method. They hit you first with the caca, and then they come out with the not quite caca. And you're like, oh, okay. So Vectors, if you get a chance, again, probably about a 6 out of 10. Check it out if you have extra money. If not, don't. It's a rather lackluster list this week, and I apologize, but that's what I read. And they're not always bangers, I can tell you that much. And
Donald, do you ever read comic books and like them or not like them based on just the artwork and not the writing?
No, almost never. I'm not very critical on the art. I'm very critical on the writing. For me, I can kind of see things as a film or a novel if the art's not there. As long as the stories are, you could give me stick figures if the story is great, you know, if it's really solid. But if the story sucks and the art's beautiful, I don't care. I really don't. So I'm out. So that's it.
Yeah, I just know some people like go really like, oh, the artwork is great. That's why I read this book, no matter how bad the story is.
I don't get
and I was
that.
just curious on what you.
No, I appreciate you asking, but I will never get that. In fact, I would pull right out of that. That's right. That's what happened. All right. So we have a lot of stuff going on tonight, right, Chris?
Yeah. You know what's worse than like when you're pulling out and nobody notices is when you like poop and you think you poop, but then there's nothing in the toilet.
Oh,
peekaboo shit.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Phantom shit. Yes,
I've had that happen, and I don't know what the hell is going on. Like I don't get it. Like I never had it happen in my 30s, but in my 40s, I'm like, what is this? What happened? I thought this happened. Like I was sitting there and I felt pretty content. And then, you know, and don't say you don't give the look back, because you give the look back. Nobody goes, oh, I'm done. Everybody gives a look back. They go, and they're like, they're
well, once you get to a certain age, you got to make sure there's no blood and stuff. So
that's true. I worked with a girl once. She would take pictures of it if it was huge. Like one time she was so proud of the size, she took a Polaroid picture of it and kept it in her wallet and would show it to people at work. We worked in a restaurant.
Well,
Of all places.
Whenever I have a big one, I call Seth. I'm like, dude, do you know how big my shit was?
Maybe that girl with the Polaroid was trying to convince people to get soft serve. Anyway,
Oh, nasty. Nope. Oh, that's gross. That's nasty.
But shit movies, not movies that are shit.
That was actually that was a scene from Me, Myself, and Irene, I believe. Where they showed a guy and he dropped trout. I think it was Jim Carrey. And he was going to take a shit on somebody's lawn, and then it jump cut right to a cone being filled with soft serve. Yeah. See, I remember shit. Shit. All right. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of poop talk. Mom and Dad are here. Everybody say hi to my mom and dad.
Hi, my mom and dad.
Hi, Mom and Dad.
And Dad, how you doing?
They say had internet problems, finally fixed it. Well, join the club,
Them
guys.
too, huh?
Let me
Yeah.
tell you. Oh, that's cool. Danielle and Lashana. No, it's not pronounced the way she spelled it. It's Shashawana.
Oh,
But I think it's Lashana. I think you're right, Kevin. And it's just spelled interestingly. Geez. Janet's here. Thanks for joining, Janet. We've got Big Sal in the house. Everybody, this is going to be a fun time. We have 12 on the list tonight. We ranked shit. Like, we ranked toilet humor, basically. A lot of films, and there's a ton of films of toilet humor. Don't get me wrong. A ton. This is just a small stool sample of I'm good.
That joke was rank.
They rank themselves, don't they? I mean, come on. Oh, jeez. All right. You just had to pull it out of me. Okay, so we have a long Came Polly at number 12. I'm going to list that right now. How about that? So number 12, Along Came Polly. And why did this make the list, guys?
There's a couple of things in that movie about potty humor. First of all, we have the infamous shark. That's where that term came from. With Philip Seymour Hoffman, his character is like, I think I just sharted.
Yeah. I remember that. That was in the trailer.
Yeah. And so there was that, but then there was also a scene where Ben Stiller is at Jennifer Aniston's house, and he uses the bathroom. And at first he sits down to poop, and a ferret walks in underneath the door, and he's like just there.
Right.
And then he like poops, and then he realizes there's no toilet paper. And so he tries to find different things. Then he gets a towel and throws it in the toilet, and then it
Why would you do that?
And then he tries to flush it, and it overflows, of course. And then he's still trying to figure out, and then he finds Jennifer Aniston's back scratcher or the scrubber in the shower, and it cuts to him grabbing it, and it cuts to her like it's seeing smoke and water coming from the door. And she's like, "What is going on?" And so that's pretty funny. And just Ben Stiller he's funny reaction, and it's a funny scene.
I think it would have been better if it was Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Didn't they have he had IBS or something like that, and they went for curry or
Indian food? Yes.
Yeah.
He went out for Indian food, and he was like all into her, and he's like, "I'll go wherever you want." And she's like, "Great, I love Indian." And he's like, "Oh goddamn." So they go to Indian food, and he's like sweating fucking bullets.
Yeah.
It's like pouring off of him, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, I'm fine.
he was anticipating those shit later.
Oh God, yeah. And I could totally understand that. I mean, coming from have y'all not had Indian food? Because if you don't have a tolerance for it, it will get you in the end.
Yeah. All right, raise your hand if you had to poop at a date's house on a date. It really is embarrassing. It really is.
It's super embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know
I
what?
wasn't embarrassed.
They didn't have the what was it? The what was it called? The poo spray.
Poopery?
Poopery, yeah. They didn't have the
Poopery.
poopery back then. Nobody thought you could layer the top of the water in the toilet bowl with oil, scented oil, and it will trap the odor. Nobody thought about that. What the fuck? Like, why? In this many years of humans existing, nobody's thought about. I'm sure, like back when they created perfumes and shit, like because of you know the Black Plague or whatever, and they were spraying each other and stuff, that somebody accidentally got some spritzed in the bowl or whatever, and they were like, oh, you know, or was it still chamber pots then? I don't know. And by the way, who like they say that they would have like a piss boy or something that would empty out the chamber pots. But
yes, oh yes.
How did they clean them? Because not everything.
They didn't. He.
Really?
Listen, they wanted to savor that flavor.
I think if the more like royalty or richer people probably paid people to come and scrub them.
Right. That makes sense.
Or slaves or whatever, but the poor probably just didn't. Water maybe, like rinse maybe.
More urine. How do we clean this? More urine. They would just have somebody that drank a lot of water clean it out. The hydrated would clean out the chamber pots, I guess.
That's where the term water boy came from.
Oh.
Really?
No.
Oh. Wonderful. Sabrina says, sorry I'm late. Had to use the bathroom. Oh! Nice. Well done, Sabrina. You get a DJ air horn. That deserves it. You deserve it on that one. Well done. So yeah, Along Came Polly, a very forgettable film with a couple pretty memorable moments. But that's it. We're going to move on from there. And we're going to go to number 11 on the list. And this one's, I would say, pretty memorable in general. I don't know if this is it one word or two, Chris? I think it's two. But it could be one. Anyway, it's Caddyshack, regardless. Yep, and it's because of one scene. One scene. It all boils down to a candy bar. Am I correct on that one? Look at this. Look at this picture we posted. It's disgusting. Here, I'll enlarge it. It looks like a turd.
So the people who don't know this, who never seen the movie, don't know it. There's just two teenage girls. It says the country club. And two teenage girls are like, one pulls out a candy bar and says, do you want, it's a Baby Ruth. Says, do you want a bite? And they're like, no. It's just, they throw it back behind them and it lands in the pool. And it starts to float around. You get all these different shots of it in the water. And Jaws like music starts to play. And you do it. And then like this girl in a life ring is like, it's doo-doo. And then it starts a pandemonium in the pool and everyone's like screaming, getting out like there's a shark. And then it cuts. And then it cuts to the pool being completely empty and Bill Murray in a suit scrubbing it. And then he like finds like the turd in the bottom of it, picks it up. And goes, I got it. And he like takes a bite. And he goes, oh, it's good. And this lady who's watching just passes out. Why
would you try to bite it? Why would you you have a candy bar that's been floating in a pool that's filled with basically bleach. So you have the soggy bleached candy bar and you're going to put it in your mouth? Yeah, I'd probably faint too. I mean, that's nasty as hell. Regardless.
That's disgusting.
That's nasty as hell. Yeah. I don't know.
What kind of candy bar was it?
Baby Ruth.
Baby Ruth, yeah. Did anybody see the little, there was these people that created this viral TikTok video of Rodney Dangerfield when he was like, let's party. And he turns up like his caddy, like his golf caddy case or whatever it is. He turns volume up on it, like because it has a speaker attached to it. And he starts dancing, right? And then they put him in all kinds of different scenes. They put him in the Pulp Fiction scene. They put him in a scene with Napoleon Dynamite. They put him in all these dance sequences, and he's in the background dancing and stuff, doing his thing. If you get a chance, just YouTube Rodney Dangerfield Caddyshack dance and see what pops up, because it should probably be like the second or third dance sequence that pops up. It's phenomenal. It's one of my favorite things to watch, to be honest. It's really enriches the heart, so to speak, especially around this time of year for the Christmas spirits. Watch Rodney Dangerfield dance his ass off with all kinds of people. It's great. It's a lot of fun, actually. So that's number 11. Let's go to number 10. Number 10. This one came as a surprise to all of us, actually, that this film made the list, but we just kept coming back to it. How often do you have, like, what is it, Shit Demon?
Yeah.
Yeah, how often do you have a shit demon? We're talking dogma, guys.
The Golgothan. Yeah.
There you go. It was well done too. It looks really cool, actually. I really like the concept of it. Everybody getting hit.
I like
randomly
that
with
it's-
pieces of shit.
I like that it's shiny.
Yeah. Oh, that's the best that they glistened it like that.
Yeah.
Really smart move. I bet you it was
Kind of-
Kevin Smith that did that. Seth, you were gonna say something. Kind of what?
Kind of oozy. Like the whole body is just
A
kind of
little
like
drippy, kind of like.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's soft serve.
Yeah.
He's been
Melting.
soft served to us. Yeah, he's melting in the hot sun. I don't know.
Job
Was
of the
there-
butt.
Was there
Job of the butt.
Was there pieces stuck to him? I don't know. I couldn't say. But it's nasty as hell.
Did he have corn as teeth?
He may have. I think it'd be smart. It would have been smart to
Yeah.
put some corn in there for sure. Because those that don't know, the human body can't really digest corn. So
Why is that?
we just pass it through our system.
Why
Is it their
that?
seeds?
Because it's like a pure fibrous thing. And fiber, the reason why people like fiber so much is because it pushes everything through, because it usually stays kind of whole. In it's like a support group for your bowels. It just goes through and roots everything out. Fiber. Right there, fiber. So corn's part of that. It's high in fiber. And it's extremely hard for the body to digest, so it just passes through the system. Now, what you could do, Kevin, as an experiment, now hear me out on this, you could take whatever you pass through your body, and you could rinse it in like a colander or a sifter of some sort, and then you could clean it off, scrub it if you need to or whatever, and then you could re-eat it and check and see how it passes through the second time, if it's fully digested or if it comes through even more broke down. And if it does come through more broke down, you have to ask yourself at this point, do I want to clean it off and try again, or have I gone down too dark of a path?
Excuse me. This is disgusting. I gotta throw up.
Yeah, that's pretty disturbing.
Good thing you have the toilet right
That's
there.
gross. Gross.
How'd someone get up here?
We're all 12 here, so just so you know, we're all 12 years old.
Gross.
Yeah, so that was Dogma at number 10. Now we're creeping into the number 9 spot. This is great, guys. Number 9, we got to say bye-bye to American Pie. Number 9 on the list. American Pie, it made last week's list of sexy scenes.
Yeah.
Where I think it was Jim. Was it Jim?
I believe it was Jim.
Had sex with an apple pie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin actually said that that's what turned him on to bakery products, which is
Oh no.
awkward
False.
to say the least.
False information.
Kevin. Now we at one point in time we worked very close together. You worked just down the street from me, and I would see you go to McDonald's a lot that week to get apple pies.
Not apple
Say-
pies. I get apple pies there. I was
Are
getting
you
burgers.
sure? Because I went in after you, and I was like, "What did that guy just get?" And they said 32 apple pies.
32, you say?
32.
Now, why 32? Why not just 2?
I don't know. 2 for experimentation, and the other 30 just to have your fun. I don't know. I couldn't say. All I'm saying is that's a lot of apple pies, sir.
That's
There's some
disturbingly a
pent-up
lot of apple
aggression going
pies.
on there. Yeah. We need to talk about this after the show.
Imagine just like there's like some sort of I'm imagining some sort of like OnlyFans of like some woman just like sliding like apple pie like
Chris, you have
the
no
McDonald's apple pie. I'm
Chris,
sure there's got to be something like
You
that
have
there.
no idea. They call it smoshing, by the way. It's called smoshing or splashing. I can't remember which. I think it was splashing. It's called splashing. And it is a literal thing where women will rub food all over their bodies. I guess it could be men too. They rub food all over their bodies in a very sexual manner. And people will release upon the viewing of said videos. So yeah, it is an actual thing. Yeah. And I'm sure it's been done. If cake farts is a thing, my friend, apple pie, McDonald's apple pie splashing is definitely on the list. Yeah.
You know, what else is probably on that list is just people pooping. Probably there. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I feel like there's people that would watch that. Yeah.
Yeah. My dad says, Donald, say hi to Grandma so she knows her chat is working. LOL. I did. I said hi earlier. Didn't we all say hi to my mom and dad?
Yeah, we did.
Weird. Okay.
And then we started talking shit.
Yeah, then we started shit talking. So I believe
Yeah.
that's Danielle. That's my niece. And it's working, I think. I told them. So they should have responded by now. Hopefully. We'll see. Okay, so why is this American Pie scene so iconic? It's vengeance, right? You're getting your just dessert, so to speak. It's Stifler enacting his vengeance upon somebody. Which usually it was Stifler that got screwed over, grossly, but still, he got screwed over multiple times. But in this one, it was, what was this guy's name?
Finch.
Finch, thank you. Paul Finch, if I recall.
Yeah. And what is this? Stifler feeds him food with laxatives.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And he has to go, and he goes into the bathroom, and then once he sits down, he takes the time to cover the toilet with toilet paper as he's like, he has to go, and he's like, and then he gets down, and then he realizes, and then a bunch of girls walk in. He realizes he's in the girls' restroom.
He's gone to the wrong restroom. Yeah.
And so he's trying to
couldn't have gone better for Stifler.
Yeah. And he's trying to hide it. He's trying to just be as quiet as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then he drops a colon, basically.
Basically. It ejects him off the sea. It propels him in midair. Yeah. So, and then he comes out, and everybody's kind of standing there and clapping and stuff, and he's totally embarrassed.
Yeah.
But still, he fucks Stifler's mom. So there's that.
I feel like we've all had a moment in time where we needed to have handlebars for one, at least. We just needed something to grip.
Yeah. I think you're right. As you get older, it gets worse, I feel like. But I could be wrong. I don't want to find out what my 80s is going to be like, because I already know what my 40s is like. And if I'm just they're going to be like, another man shot himself into space today. That's what it's going to be. You're going to see houses exploding, roofs and stuff. It's going to be great. Oh, thank you, Danielle. I appreciate it. Okay, there we go. So American Pie, number 9 on the list. And that brings us to number 8. Number 8. What is number 8, Chris? Because even I don't know at this point.
It's
what's supposed to be, is it?
It's Meet the Parents, yes.
Okay, for the parents, not Meet the Fockers, which is what you said.
No, it was just to be quick, I just typed in Fockers.
Okay, so Meet the Parents. All right. Okay, Meet the Parents it is. And is the picture you sent me the correct one?
Should be them carrying chairs.
Yep, got it. Okay, bringing it up. All right, here we go. It's a fucking good time with these Fockers. Let me tell you. Number 8, Meet the Parents. And why is Meet the Parents? Why did this make the list?
Made the list because it has one of the funniest line deliveries in a comedy, I think, ever. The whole premise is that Ben Stiller uses the toilet, and again, Ben Stiller using toilets he's not supposed to, and he makes the septic tank overflow. And later on, it's the wedding or whatever it was, and
rehearsal maybe.
Rehearsal, yeah. And he's like, "What does that smell?" And Robert De Niro goes, "It's your shit." And just the way he says it was perfect timing. And that scene it's just hilarious.
It's your shit. It's your bullshit. It's your shit. All right. Anybody have any other fond memories of this film that they would like to bring up? It was a hit. It was a big hit, actually. It did a resurgence for De Niro because he had analyzed this, and then Meet the Parents, and a few
Analyze
others.
that.
Yeah, analyze that, and then Meet the Fockers. So he had quite quite a resurgence, enough so that he's still kind of riding that a little bit, which is interesting to see. And I hear Children of the Flower Moon. Is that correct? The name of the title? I heard that he's amazing in that also, which is propelling him even further into mention of Oscars.
Not bad for an 80-year-old, huh?
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. He's over there making films. Pacino's over there making babies. Hoo-ha!
I think it's Killers of the Flower Moon, not Children.
Oh, Killer's the Flower Moon.
Maybe
Yeah.
you think of Children of the Corn. That's probably what your mind was
I
on.
was thinking of with Pacino, it would be Children of the Flower Moon. Ah, yes.
Ah!
Babies. Cocaine. Thank you, Sabrina. We worked it out, but thank you. All right, so number 7 on our list. Number 7. I feel like this one was like one of the quintessential poop films, to be honest, because you had Floyd and what was the other guy's name?
Barry?
Lloyd. It was Lloyd and Barry.
Harry.
Barry? Larry.
Harry.
Harry, thank you. Harry and Lloyd. Yeah, it was an interesting combination. This is the second best film by the writers/directors. The first, of course, is Kingpin, and I'll fight you over that one. And here we go.
Even more so. Wow.
Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber. There we go. That's a great photo, Chris. Good.
Yeah, it's like that's the photo itself. It's like explains why it's on the list.
He looks like he's in so much pain.
Braced.
My dad, Chris, by the way, says you're a pot licker because your face was so close to the toilet. Oh, Chris! No, people use
Tastes like
that.
salt.
Ooh. Your toilet was assaulted. Oh, Margarita Mondays. What are you going to do?
Used by many, it's well seasoned.
Yep, that's true. All right, so Dumb and Dumber. It's a fantastic film. It's a Farley Brothers film. We got Harry and Lloyd. So we got Jim Carrey, and we have Jeff Daniels. And Jeff Daniels is phenomenal in this. And the reason why I say that is because anybody that can be as manic and keep up with Jim Carrey has to have that, what would you say, je ne sais quoi, that talent that just boils to the surface. You don't see this performance by Jeff in pretty much any other film. This is like a particular performance used to match Jim Carrey's performance, which I thought was something pretty special. So I appreciated him very much for this. I love Jim Carrey, but I think Jeff Daniels kind of, to me, stole the show a little bit in the fact that he was able to match his.
Yeah, I think it was interesting. It was an interesting dynamic in the fact that they didn't go like straight man, like comic man. They were kind of both just crazy.
Yeah. You're not wrong. That was certainly an interesting idea, and it seemed to work out really well. Because, like, for example, when Jeff Daniels was like, oh, I think it was Lloyd, he was like, there you go, and you had to do this and do something and just screw this up or just, and then totally redeem yourself. And then and it's so stupid because it doesn't make any sense. None of it makes any sense. So that's why we had a prequel and a sequel, and both of which are horrible. Don't watch them. But the original is definitely where it's at.
Those of you who have never seen the movie, the scene is about they're at a dinner, and Harry, right? Is his name Harry? I think his character's name is.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Harry's to go to the bathroom, so he goes up to the bathroom and he poops, as you can see in the picture, and he poops, and he opens the window a little bit, scooches it open, and then after he finishes, the girl walks. The hostess of the dinner walks the bathroom and says, "I hope you're not using the toilet. It's broken." And that's the whole, like, the scene itself is just funny. I feel like his reaction, like, as you can see the picture, and then his reaction when she says the toilet's broken, it's just like he's broken at that moment.
The panic sets in
Yeah.
in his face. Yes. It's priceless. But okay, that is number 7. Now we're going to move on to number 6. Number 6, just one classic line is all it takes sometimes for a film. And that line resonates for pretty much all time. Like, it's considered a Christmas classic. It's something that almost everybody watches around Christmas time, or at least knows somebody that has or will be watching it. And number 6 is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Written by Mr. Hughes.
Mr. Johnny Hughes?
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping somebody else was going to finish my thought. Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Hughes wrote Christmas Vacation, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It is hilarious. Well worth your time, by the way. A Chevy Chase classic. Say what you want about Chevy Chase. He's an asshole. He's not an asshole. Who gives a shit? He's fantastic in this film. And you could say the same thing about Mr. Randy Quaid, who is the oldest of the Quaid brothers. Dennis came along just after that and followed in Randy's footsteps. Randy, some might say, went off the deep end. I say he found what he needed in life. And that is crazy.
Yeah.
So good for him. So Shitter's Full. That's basically the whole scene. There's a mobile home. He's trying to figure out where to put the shit, and then he puts it in the drainage system, right, for the street run.
It kind of just like sprays it in the gutter, basically.
Yep. And people walk by, and he's drinking a beer. He's got his robe on and his hat, and he's like, "Shitter's full." He's toasting them
Waves.
as they walk past, and he's waving like an idiot. It's the best. I love it so much. It is a true Christmas classic. It's very fun. And it was the 3rd in the franchise, if I recall. There was National Lampoon's Vacation, and then National Lampoon's European Vacation, and then came National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
And then it went downhill from there.
Well, I think the 4th one was just called Vegas Vacation. They didn't even
Vegas Vacation, yeah.
Yeah. So it just went downhill after that. Wasn't the same. We didn't have the same writers, directors, any of that. All right, so let's move on to number 5. Number 5. Sean says The Last Detail is the best film Randy Quaid was in. And you know what, Sean? I don't believe I've ever seen The Last Detail. I guess I'll have to add it to the list. Number 5 on the list, well, guess what? It wouldn't be a Saturday unless Friday came before it. And when you talk about iconic scenes, there's no other iconic scene in my mind when it comes to toilet humor than the dad sitting on the toilet, just in pain, spraying that potpourri spray. And we all have known somebody, at least, that you've lived with or been close to that loves that nasty ass potpourri spray, and they're just spraying it, and it just smells like a rose colored fucking turd or something. It is nasty. It is terrible. That spray does nothing. It just masks it, but it adds, it doesn't even mask it. It just adds to it. It's like an addition. It's like you like the smell of shit. Here, have some roses with it.
Yeah, it's like if someone threw a bouquet of flowers in the sewer.
It does nothing. You like
cinnamon shits.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. How about some apple cinnamon with your shit, with your poop? Do you like that? It turns you off to certain meals. Terrible.
Go with the swirl, vanilla chocolate.
Oh.
Get out of here. Get out of here. But this was a really fun film, and these scenes were a key part. And there were multiple scenes like this. Like the dad, and I can't remember the dad's name, and I'm so sorry about that. I feel bad.
John Witherspoon.
Was it John Witherspoon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He passed away not long ago, right? A couple years, if I recall. Not long ago at all.
Yeah.
Sadly, because he was fantastic in everything I've ever seen him in.
I think my favorite line in the scene is like when the son walks in and he is like, oh, he goes, shut up, boy. I've been smelling your shit for 25 years. You can see him,
True.
listen to mine, or smell mine.
Yep, he's not wrong. When he was a kid, he
And-
would have to change diapers.
I feel like that moment I've actually had. I've had that conversation of, hey, come here. I need to tell you something real quick. And I was like, oh, not now. Can it wait, please?
Okay, so I used to be asked to bring the telephone in. Does anybody else have that experience where they're like, "Can you hand the telephone in?"
I mean,
No.
that's when you know it's
Stretch-
serious. You got to bring the telephone in.
Yeah.
See, at our
You
house,
got
my
a
dad
phone
was using,
call. Just take it later.
in our house, when my dad was using the restroom, we'd have to leave the house.
Is that why we stayed out on the lawn when I came over for Christmas that one year?
Yeah.
Oh shoot! Number 5, Friday. That's a good one. That's a good movie and a fun
You know,
scene.
In Friday, there was another little nugget, if you will, where they're riding along in the car, or maybe it's a sequel, and there's a dog poop that's stuck to the dad's back because he's a dog catcher and he slipped and he fell in it, and they didn't know that it was on him, and they just have this smell in the car and they're dying, like suffocating because there's no air conditioner, it's hot, and then there's shit somewhere in the truck with them.
Oh, that's fantastic. You know, sometimes before there's a shit, there's a fart. Number 4, Blazing Saddles, guys. Blazing Saddles. If you guys haven't seen this film, wow, it's definitely worth a watch. The man that directed this is how old? 93, 94? Somewhere around
He's
there?
pushing 100. He's pushing 100 at
Too
this
old.
point.
Yeah.
It's Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks. I almost wanted to say Mel Gibson, and that would have been hilarious. But it's Mel Brooks, guys.
97 to be exact.
97. Good Lord.
Wow.
Good for him.
And he's still making stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did another History of the Whatever, I think.
History of the World Part 2.
But everybody's sitting around a campfire in this one. They're eating beans, and they're blazing those saddles. Let me tell you, they're just farting a Rudy toot toot is what you should call it. They're having a good time. They're leaning over. They're letting it out. It's open air, so I guess it's fair game, right?
Not close to a fire, though.
Yeah.
They're eating beans, too, so it makes it even worse.
It does make it worse, but that scene, nonetheless, is a fantastic scene. And one definitely worth being so high up on the list. It's iconic. We have a few surprises left, though, on this list, which I think is going to really shock people. Number 3 on the list. Bridesmaids. Yes, Bridesmaids. I don't think you can get any funnier from a lot of points than what is her name?
Melissa McCarthy?
Melissa McCarthy shitting in a sink.
It's got to be the funniest scene in the movie.
I mean, let me just enlarge this so you guys can see Melissa McCarthy's shitting in a sink. I need to rewatch this film now that we've talked about it.
All right, so the whole scene, I just rewatched it this morning. The whole scene is they get food poisoning while trying on dresses for a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And so they all run in the rush across the street to the bathroom. And somebody has to throwing up. But then Melissa McCarthy's character is like, I got to use the toilet. They're like, well, and so she starts using the sink. They're like, no, don't use the sink. Don't use the sink. And she uses the sink, and then then the other girl starts puking, and then a third girl comes in and starts puking over her in her hair. And then, what's her name from SNL? The lead, the one getting married,
Kristen Wiig?
Maya Rudolph.
Oh, Maya
Rudolph. She has the poop, and she's running across the street, but she doesn't make it, so she just sits down in the middle of the street in her wedding dress that she was trying on, and poops. She's just like a bird almost.
Oh, shit. It's a great scene, guys. Definitely revisit it. If you haven't seen the movie, definitely check it out. It's well worth it. It's what's his name? Paul? Is it Paul Fig? Paul
Feig,
Feig.
Feig, something like that.
Paul Feig? Yeah, he. If I recall, he directed. I don't know if he wrote it, but he did direct it. It's pretty hilarious. So highly recommend it if you get a chance. That's Bridesmaids at number 3. Number 2, however, well, who does number 2 work for? Really? I don't know.
I mean, we're talking about number 2 all night, so
Exactly.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
So, yeah, baby. So you have to say Austin Powers. Who does number 2 work for? That's right. That's right, pal. You give that turd hell. What a classic scene. We're talking about Austin Powers, man. Yeah, baby. Which I don't think I have a picture for some odd reason. Nope, don't have one. So no Austin Powers picture, but I'll put the name up here for you guys to look at. So Austin Powers, what is it about this scene? I feel that Tom Arnold deserves a lot of credit for this role in this scene. He plays this country cowboy, this rich tycoon that comes in, and he just hams it up while Mike Myers is struggling with this assassin that's come through the back panel on the toilet while he's sitting down trying to make a poo. Comes around to try to strangle him with his Lucky Charms. He has his Lucky Charms because he's Irish. And he's trying to strangle him with them. And then Austin breaks free and then pulls him forward and dips his head in the toilet and starts to go, who does number 2 work for? And then that's when you get that iconic scene, that iconic story. So Austin Powers, man, that's it's a fantastic movie. I did a birthday thing, like 2 years ago, where we, on a rooftop, we went to see Austin Powers. And it was phenomenal. At a mall on a rooftop, and like an impersonator showed up that was Austin Powers impersonator, and we had a ball. It was just a lot of fun. So if you get a chance, if you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. And if you have, you should revisit Austin
Yeah,
Powers.
and you need to have it. I don't think I've seen it since it came out.
There's a lot to it too. There's a whole urination scene that I think's hilarious, where he's complete, and they keeps trying to say that the elimination's been complete, and the elimination is him urinating. Sean McGean says, does Train Spotting make the cut? No, it does not. I appreciate that thought though, and I'm aware of the film. I have seen it, but it did not make the cut, Sean. What made the cut as number 1? And we might as well just go right to it. Number 1 on the list. You're going to be shocked. Down Periscope.
The ultimate hot box.
Down Periscope, yep. Buckman. A.K.A. Brock Jones. My friend back in Ohio that looks just like him. They are in a submarine, and they have to be very quiet because they're being hunted. And what happens? The guy's eating, I think he's eating out of a can of beans. He's in a giant can. And he's eating out of there, and he goes, oh, God. And then suddenly you just hear it. And he just rips one that vibrates through the submarine. And then the other submarine that's searching for him, there's like, sir, I've got a hit. What is it? I don't know, sir. It sounded like an explosion. And they're like, oh, an explosion, yes. And then the scent hits everybody, and you start seeing going, oh, when they have to cover their mouths and their noses because they're going to try to make noise.
The whole submarine's filled with it. It's hilarious.
The whole submarine is filled with this gas.
And they can't talk. They can't make any noise. And it's like one guy like runs to another room and hides under a pillow like an ostrich.
Yeah, so many people hiding and screaming and like internally screaming, so to speak. And then after all is said and done, and they're stopped being pinged, and they're on their way, they've made it safe. The captain of the submarine turns and he says, "Somebody find Buckman and shoot him out of a cannon."
Kelsey Grammer, I believe.
Yeah, or was it out of a torpedo chute? Yeah, it was Kelsey Grammer. Absolutely, great film if you get a chance. Absolutely phenomenal. I met the guy that played the electronics expert that kept shocking himself at ArcLight Cinemas when I worked there in Hollywood. a long time ago. And I met him, and he came up to the customer service desk, and he was like, "Oh, can I get a parking?" And I was like, "Hey," I was like, "Down Periscope, right?" And he looks at me and he goes, "Yeah, sorry about that." Instantly apologizes, and I was like, "What? No, I loved it." And he stops, and he's shook, and he's like, "Oh, oh, well, you're welcome then," you know. And I was like, "What? Nobody likes that?" And he's like, "Eh," and I was like, "I love it." And he's like, "Okay then," you know. We had this high five moment, and everything was great. It was super exciting. He was a cool dude. So definitely when you see it and you see him, know that he's a cool dude. A lot of fun. But that's it. That's the list, guys. Jeez, we went through this pretty fast, to be honest. Like super fast. Like we set a record for our podcast, I believe. I feel like we could do this all the time. Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? What?
Yeah.
But I want to thank you, the audience, for being a part of this very, very much. This has been an actual delight. Thank you, of course, as always, to Kevin and Chris. And a special thank you to Seth. Seth, I want to thank you for popping on and being a part of this. It's been a pleasure to have you. And on a personal note, it's nice to see your face. Can't hear anything you're saying. No.
How about now?
Yeah.
Here we go. Likewise, it's been great fun.
Oh, he's doing me.
He's like, "Well, go fuck yourself, you piece of shit." It's been great. I love it. As always, to our audience members, to people in the chat that are commenting and saying things, I know when we're doing these rankings, it kind of doesn't leave a lot of wiggle room for chat. But next week, we're going to start our holiday proceedings. We're going to start doing a lot of holiday content. Christmas, Hanukkah, all that, whatever you're into, it's going to be part of this. So we're going to do some theme stuff all the way up through the end of December. So we just want to, honestly, I want to get myself in the holiday spirit as well as anybody else that feels like I do this, like, whatever, you know. So let's work with each other, get ourselves in this holiday spirit. Let's have some fun starting next week and all through the rest of December. So thank you so much for being on and being a part of this, and thank you for tuning in. And perhaps if you're parched, if you're feeling maybe a little thirsty, you may want to, I don't know.
They have an unrefreshing, dirty, bubbly rumble pop.
Good night, everybody. Hope you enjoy your evening.